we are getting faster reveals, 4 times faster reveals in general, approximately. And we have also got smaller bundles.
We are in a performance age for Meteor. Nacho did that awesome work on the Rspack and SWC, reducing the bundle.
Hey, I'm Gab Ferreira and welcome back to the Galaxy Crew podcast. Today we're talking about something that the Meteor community has been waiting for a long time, Meteor 3.4. This is probably the most significant release since Meteor 3, and the reason is simple. Build times cut up by up to 70%, client bundles shrinking by up to 88%, and tree shaking finally landing to Meteor Core. All of this powered by BES Build, one of the fastest bundlers in the JavaScript ecosystem, that's now integrated directly into Meteor Core. The best part is that it's fully opt-in. You can upgrade to Meteor 3.4 today without changing a single thing in your app. When you're ready to tap into the new bundler, you just add the ES Build package and flip one flag. I sat down with the Meteor Core team, Gabriel, Nacho, and Italo, to understand what it took to build this, what it means for your existing apps, and what is the future of the platform. Let's get into it. Guys, I heard that Meteor 3.4 is one of the biggest versions since Meteor 3, if not the biggest one, the most important one. Why is that?
Yeah, I think Meteor 3.4 is like a wrap-up of all the efforts that we have been doing with the Meteor bundler. We wanted to meet the expectations of our Meteor community in terms of the bundling and in terms of speeding up the development experience, but not only that, but also reducing the bundle size, also being able to embrace modern setups. And all this we have achieved by the what we introduced in Meteor 3.4, which is the Rspack bundler. By doing this, we get all those benefits I have talked about, but also we offload the maintenance, the extensibility to this external tool that has a community behind that is applying the standards in this bundler area. So we will get in the future all these updates for free.
And what made us choose Rspack again?
The Rspack decision has been based on the experimentation. We tried Bit as well on the past. In fact, there is a community package it's called Meteor Bit. It's an atmosphere package that tries to accomplish the same that we have accomplished with Rspack, with some other issues around it. And those issues is likely similar as those that we got in the process of experimentation. And when we just tried Rspack, everything worked smoothly. We have been for a long period of beta versions where we have fine-tuned all this new integration. But one of the reasons is, of course, it passed the experimentation phase. And the other reasons is that out of the market, I think is one of the fastest bundler possible. One of the reasons is because it's not used Node.js behind the scenes. It's using another language that is really fast, like Rust. And many people is embracing these new technologies surrounding Rust, like SWC for transpiler, Rspack for the bundler, and so on. So these will be the reasons.
I was taking a look at your article about this version, Nacho, and I saw that Rspack cuts build times dramatically and introduces long requested features like tree shaking, HMR, and full ESM support. And from your guys' perspective, which of these improvements will developers feel the most immediately when they try Meteor 3.4?
I believe, from Meteor, for making a little bit of retrospective, I would say that we are working in the bundler from Meteor 3.2, where we introduced there a way for us and for every Meteor user to profile their experience, the developer experience, and the bundle size of their applications. Then in Meteor 3.3, we wanted to get the most of the Meteor bundler by replacing, for instance, Babel with the SWC alternative. All that has been done to improve the development experience in general, which I think is what Meteor users will appreciate a lot, because before that was really slow, and the numbers for Meteor profile just is a proof of that. But I believe what they will get the most and has been long requested is how smaller the bundles can be nowadays with the Rspack integration. You mentioned tree-shaking, and tree-shaking is one of the long requested features from the Meteor community. It's full of messages in the Meteor forum, has been also as discussion on the GitHub. And this one by its own will thin a lot the builds, and I think is really exciting for any Meteor user.
Yeah, and beyond that, we have the bundler size, as Nacho mentioned it, and the time to build the application. That is a snowball. So you will have a smaller time in your CI, and you will be able to ship in production faster, and everything on top of it will improve your developer experience while you are developing. You will be able to see your chains faster. You will be able to build faster and deliver fast. So it will be awesome improvement on DX.
And I would like to ask you guys, how difficult was to integrate Rspack into Meteor's existing bundler architecture? What were the biggest challenges there?
This has been a work for a really long time, I would say. This has started, the approach that we are following in the official Rspack integration here in Meteor has been developed over the years by being actually an independent piece from the Meteor Core, actually. So at the end, Rspack will take care of your application code, and you can think about this like Meteor is the piece that is going to add the specifics of Meteor in your project, DDP, all the third atmosphere packages that we are providing to make your product life easier, like accounts and etc. All that is in charge of the Meteor bundler. And Rspack is just an independent piece that takes care of your application code. For that, your application code needs to follow syntax standards and so on. So it's an independent piece, but we were able in 3.4 to make it integrated into the Meteor core, but being an independent package. At the end, Rspack, you can enable it only if you add the Rspack atmosphere package on your existing application. And this package will get into the life cycle of the Meteor bundler and allow to delegate properly the code of your application into Rspack and link everything together with the Meteor bundler. But I would say has been hard in the sense of, okay, bring these ideas and put them on the table. But at the end, making it integrated has been really in isolation, which makes things even easy because you don't need to struggle too much into Meteor bundler specifics, the core specifics.
And I was looking here at the numbers, and they are quite impressive. Around 70% faster builds and 88% smaller client bundles. So is that right?
Yeah, depend on the project. I would say that, for instance, and what I wanted to highlight here is that we were able to migrate a real use case application like the Galaxy Cloud application, the application that is likely that you are using to deploy your Meteor apps. That application is at the end a Meteor app, and we have migrated it into the Rspack integration. And with that, we have got some data out of it. And yes, we are getting faster reveals, 4 times faster reveals in general, approximately. This is 70% reduction on average. And we have also got smaller bundles by applying, not only the tree shaking we were mentioning before, but also other extra optimization possibilities that are depending per project nature. So you have ways to split your applications in chunks and load them lazily, and that will reduce the size of your main bundle. For instance, in the case of Galaxy, we have reduced from 8.5 megabytes to just 1 megabyte on the main bundle. This is 87% of reduction, which is crazy. Of course, we have applied many optimization strategies there, not only tree shaking, it's more things going on, but at least nowadays any Meteor app has this possibility.
And I was also reading here that this version now unlocks support for modern setups like for React, Vue, Svelte, Solid, Angular, React compiler, and full ESM. What does this mean for teams that previously hesitated to adopt Meteor due to ecosystem compatibility? They shouldn't be afraid anymore and start using Meteor now?
Yeah, I think, yes. At the end, one other thing that we are bringing it with the Rspack integration is the possibility to any Meteor user, any project in Meteor, to excel into something more modern, something that is current in the JavaScript ecosystem. This means that we have support of everything that we were supporting before in the Meteor side, React, we had React compiler, Vue, Solid, Svelte. But the good thing is that they could use the latest versions of those. I know that, for instance, in Svelte, people were fixed in a specific version and they were not able to evolve. The same happened with other technologies, but now with the Rspack integration, they can use those, continue using the technologies that they love, but go beyond that and use the latest versions. But also legacy setups like CoffeeScript, Blaze, whoever is using that, this is also compatible. And this is one of the good things that this release is also bringing in. I also want to mention here one thing more, and it's about the ESM support, because with Rspack, we have the possibility to import any NPM package that is following the ESM standard. And for instance, a common example in the community has been the React Router version 7. Many people has complained about it, but now they can do it with the Rspack integration. Whatever you can do in Rspack or even Webpack, because at the end Rspack is like the successor of Webpack and has backwards compatibility with anything Webpack. Whatever you can use there, you can use it now in Meteor. That includes workbox for service workers and PWA, the assets, imports, images, markdowns, whatever, and optimizations of those files in the build time. And yeah, many other things are available for you now.
I was also looking here at the Cordova. Cordova builds are now considered modern when the flag modern is set to true. What does this shift signal about Meteor's roadmap for Meteor apps? There's like a room for improvement in the native support for mobile apps, right?
We have in our Meteor application many architectures, one architecture for web, another for mobile. Until now, we haven't a modern flag for Cordova for mobile architectures, and now it's enabled. So now you can have the benefits from SWC, from Rspack, for example, using in the mobile architectures.
It's basically that. At the end, we were considering before Cordova as a legacy build. So was using, whenever we produce a Cordova build, that code generated was pointing to legacy and was applying legacy kind of transformation in the transpiler and in everything, right? So now it's considered modern because we are in a state in the native web ecosystem that you can afford to have it. And in fact, if you include specific dependencies, NPM dependencies, Cordova was complaining because it's not modern enough that build anymore. And we needed this. And of course, Cordova is compatible, as Italo was saying, in the Rspack and in SWC to get all benefits for modern syntaxes.
Now, just a quick break to tell you about the product that makes this podcast happen. Galaxy is the best way to deploy your web applications. We support Meteor apps, Node apps, and Python apps as well. We also have 3 options to host your databases: Redis, MongoDB, and Postgres. Galaxy is a company that maintains Meteor for a long time. And we also support a lot of open source projects like Adonis.js. If you want to get started today, there's a link below here in the description of the podcast where you can get $60 in credits to start deploying your apps today. Support the open source community by hosting your apps on Galaxy. Now, let's back to the conversation. Now guys, for teams that want to update their existing apps to Meteor 3.4, what would you say there are the most common pitfalls they should watch when enabling the Rspack bundler?
So yeah, as I said, the first thing that you need to do is to update your Meteor application, existing Meteor application to 3.4 with Meteor update command as usual. Then you need to add the Rspack atmosphere package into your app, and it is possible that your app will work straight, but this is to be so optimistic, even though there are many examples that has been like that. But no, there are some requirements that you need to fulfill. Everything is in the new Rspack integration docs where you can check them. But if I have to highlight some of them, in general and really direct ones that you need to consider, is that your application code, which is the one that Rspack is going to take care of, needs to be written in the more JavaScript standard way. This means that you don't use Meteor specifics like nested imports. Nested imports is when you use ES import statements within ifs, within bodies of functions, and etc. Don't confuse this with dynamic imports, because it's something completely different and it's a standard thing. But if you use nested imports, your application is not going to be able to understand by Rspack. And this is one kind of the requirements that you need to integrate completely your application with a new bundler. There are other considerations and migration topics that all of them are explained into the new docs we have created, tailored by these specific migration efforts that any project could face. So
one that I don't think maybe we did, but I don't recall, is the barrel files. If you don't have barrel files, you're going to be seeing better. You're going to be seeing improvements either way. But if you don't have barrel files, or you're planning to move out of those barrel files, this is the moment, because you're going to be seeing, because of tree shaking, you're going to be seeing a lot of better results. And I want to ask if I'm using any Babel plugin, or am I using, for example, in my app, I'm using decorators. What do I need to do? Is there anything that I should do, or is it totally non-related? Because that's a question that I've seen, and I guess it's worth mentioning in the video.
This is answered basically by what we did in Meteor 3.3, because in Meteor 3.3 we changed Babel for SWC. So if you change it to SWC successfully, possibly what you have done to accommodate a Babel plugin to the SWC is to find an alternative to this Babel plugin. And of course, you will need to find if that alternative exists. If it doesn't exist, there are still possibilities, because Rspack is flexible enough that you can describe rules to treat each of the files from your application project. So you can have specific files from your project to trigger pipelines from Babel, to trigger a specific plugins used by Babel, and the rest of SWC and things like that. You can play with it. Ideally, and in this specific moment, SWC is mature enough to almost support everything. There are exceptions, of course, but SWC is advancing in a really quick way into be a replacement of Babel in a fast fashion. So I believe this will become less than an issue in the future. But yeah, currently you will need to find alternatives of fallbacks that are completely configurable.
I think one other thing that's worth mentioning is that with all that we said today, you still are not sure you want to launch this production, you're still testing it. If you just disable, or you don't even add modern in your configuration, nothing will be changed. So things are going to be the same. Oh, I just want to be on 3.4 because of, I don't know, the CLI changed. The logs have changed the way they show in the CLI. You just want that, you can just go to 3.4. There will be no issues. There will be fine. But if you want to tap into these new features, you just add the modern through there, and you'll be using the new bundler. So it's a really opt-in.
Yeah, I have to say, because for instance, for having the new bundler, you need the Rspack atmosphere package. So anyone that wants to have all the optimizations that we have done in Meteor bundler, you just have to put modern true into your package. If you want to have the benefits of the Rspack, you need to add the atmosphere package, but you can opt in to have it or not have it at all, because maybe you are not ready for it. So anyone can update 3.4 freely without any issues, and you can always go back if you find them. And of course, report them because we want to improve these systems for the future. And new applications, I also want to say that any applications that you have with Meteor Create will by default include all optimizations delivered. Modern true with the Meteor bundler optimizations with atmosphere packages and all the things that we did, and also the Rspack integration for all examples, skeletons that we have.
And guys, what are the plans for the future after this big release? What are we going to work on now?
We still have a few patches to address in the release 3.4.1. We have a tons of PRs to bring for core. And later, we will have the 3.5 where we bring the chain streams feature. Basically, Meteor today works with uplog to make the reactivity works. So uplog is a collection in the MongoDB where registers all the operations from your database, and we want it to collect the chains and forward it for the client. But the problem is we have all the operations in this collection. So sometimes we work on chains that don't matter for your client. Moving for a chain stream approach, we will be able to work only on the chains that matter for you, optimizing the resource from your server. Well, we are in a performance age for Meteor. Nacho did an awesome work on the Rspack and SWC, reducing the bundle and hot hello time. And now we are looking for memory and CPU usage from your server. So the expectation is the adopt chain stream to decrease the resources usage from your server.
And I also think that there is something interesting, and it's about what is going to be the future of the Meteor Node version, because we wanted to go to the the Node 24 version in the future, right, Italo?
Yeah, and beyond that, we are moving. We will move for the Node 24. So trying to be always updated with the LTS version from Node.
Yeah, and maybe what that will bring us in terms of node improvements of performance, I think they usually try to do things there, and I think will be cool to actually see them with all the benchmark work that Italy is doing here.
I saw that we have many contributors for this version, right? A lot of help from the community.
I think we're going to be saying the same thing, that especially those that contribute in the forums, reporting things. Because, yeah, Nacho was like dying and leaving in the forums, and he told me that there was a lot of people reporting and telling things and explaining and sharing issues. And I want to highlight the Angular one that he told me, that was a really nice one. So now we got Angular support again. It was all because people went through the due process in the forums, and it was really fine. Like, they reported, they shared examples, we got to work on it, and it just works now. We have Angular again. So thanks to the community, especially to those in the forums, always complaining. And we like those complaints. The feedback is really good.
Complaints and compliments as well. So they do both things to us.
The community is very active, right? People are always helping us. And as you said, complaining is good for us to realize what is going on, what is breaking, what is working, what is not working, and make Meteor even better for everyone. Guys, do you have extra optimizations for the Meteor bundler related to atmosphere packages?
So in Meteor 3.4, we have not only acted on the Rspack integration, we also worked on improving the Meteor bundler itself so that we can get more gains, specifically for making small bundlers on the host environments. When you use Meteor build on your project, we have added the possibility on the atmosphere packages, those packages built in Meteor or you use in your projects, whether custom one or community ones, you can add the dev-only option on those packages configuration in the package.js file. If you add that entire package will be removed from the production build. The same happens with another option we have enabled, that is npm dev depends. where you can specify those NPM packages within those Atmosphere packages that are dev dependencies. They will be completely removed from the build. And yeah, after deploying, for instance, the Galaxy Cloud application, we have been the host machine drop the size of the application by 42% more or less. So this is definitely something that you are going to note as well in your Galaxy environment or the host that you are using. But we have, as a community, the opportunity to benefit this more. And you can review those community packages and add these dev only or dev depends configurations to get further optimizations for everyone.
So guys, thank you very much one more time for your work, for your effort to bring this version to Meteor, to bring this great improvements to the core. I'm excited to see how the community is going to use this new stuff. I'm really interested in seeing these improvements on bundling size and performance. Really interested in that. Share with us if you have any interesting, changes after applying this version to your projects. Share with us on the forums, share with us on social media. We're going to leave all the links here in the description. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. We are very excited about the future of Meteor, and if you have any sort of feedback or anything you'd like us to do in the future, please talk to us in the forums on GitHub and let us know what you're thinking about the future of the platform. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast, and I'll see you soon. Bye.